Hi, everyone. Let's go ahead and get started. My name is Dr. Cheryl Reifer, and I'm the Director of Scientific Affairs for Coral Club in North America. And I'm happy today to bring you a webinar on one of our latest products, Quattrobiotic. Very exciting new probiotic product with a prebiotic blend as well, because it has 4 levels of protecting your intestine, which is, of course, our gut is 70% of our immune system. So it's good for immunity and also our gut. And I'm going to be going through all the benefits of the product and quick review on probiotics. The main thing is 4 levels of protection. I'll explain about the coding technology and all of those goodies. Um, but a healthy gut microbiome is the foundation of well-being and health. Again, the intestine is our immune organ, our primary immune organ. About 70 or 80% or trillions of cells live there, and it's our first line of defense against infection. So when we have a dysbiosis, we call it imbalance of the amount of good and bad bacteria in the gut, it could cause some gut discomfort and other issues. So we want to try to do things that help our intestinal health. Our intestines serve as a barrier function as well. We have our epithelial cells and intestinal mucosa, which is that liquid, that lining that helps protect. And you don't want that to be a thin lining. So when we have a good layer there, it helps prevent pathogens and toxins from entering the blood. And the gut microbiota plays a large part in immunity because our gut microbiome, we want it to be healthy. And we have all kinds of good and both good and bad bacteria right in our gut. We have viruses, we have as well as the healthy bacteria and fungi and all these things. So we want to recognize the pathogens so we can maintain this good balance. Our gut plays a key role in nutrient absorption, right? We have to break down those complex carbohydrates and fiber. Our body um, needs to be able to easily eliminate those waste products from the fiber. So when we have healthy digestion, it's easier for us to do that. And so we just definitely want to look at the healthy gut microbiome is the key to our foundation of our well-being and our health. And there are many things that can affect our gut microbiome, an unhealthy diet, things in the environment. Even smoking can be an irritant. There are just various things. So we want to have that good, strong barrier of protection. So serotonin is known as a feel-good hormone. It helps you sleep as well. It plays a part in digestion, mood, so many things. It carries messages between the nerve cells and the brain. So you want your serotonin production to be working effectively. And as a neurotransmitter, serotonin carries messages between nerve cells and our central nervous system. So you might have heard about this gut-brain barrier, and it's true, the healthier gut affects your mood. It affects your clarity in thinking. Sometimes it definitely plays a big role, and 90% of the serotonin in the body is produced in the intestines. So that peristalsis is the movement of food, so the contractions that help our digestion, and so we want that to be working smoothly. And when you have a inflammation built up in your body that causes discomfort and can affect some of the immune responses. So serotonin, even though it doesn't directly enter the brain, it influences the central nervous system. As I said, it's a neurotransmitter. Think of it as transmitter as a way of getting signals or messages back and forth, across the body. It does it through the vagus nerve. So changes in serotonin can affect well-being. See if there's anything else. It also helps when you release serotonin, it helps to speed digestion and rid irritating foods and toxins. So definitely very important. So I know a lot of us are already familiar with the gut microbiome. We've talked a lot about it having trillions of bacteria, being very diverse. It weighs between 1.2 to 3.5 kilograms, and we know that there's 2.2 pounds in a kilogram to give you an idea of the weight. It's a little bit more than that weight to start. It's found to play an important role in all of us because it can influence inflammation, and inflammation is usually what tends to start causing issues that lead to other more serious issues. So we definitely want to support our immune function. It is unique. We all have a unique gut microbiome. No two microbiomes are identical, so that's something to keep in mind. So the microbiome, again, is the trillions of organisms. And we do want the balance of the good and bad bacteria, so we don't want to be dysbiosis. So also, when you have the bad bacteria, it can definitely result in poor digestion. I think we've mentioned that before as well. So we can build a healthy microbiome through lifestyle choices. Also, we talked about a little bit about it, but healthy diet, rich in fiber, regular physical activity. So movement does help food move through the gut in a healthy way. It does help build your good gut bacteria, your microbiome, stress management. Some of us, we get so stressed. Do you ever feel like in the pit of your stomach, something's wrong when you're feeling very stressed out? So it's kind of like our gut is kind of our signal source of letting us know. Antibiotics, because they affect both good and bad gut bacteria. That's why there can be some issues. Some people can get some stomach upset a bit. But talk to your doctor about, what's best for you. Probiotics can help support that. Taking probiotics, if you're on a antibiotic regimen, could be something that really supports your gut during that period. The food we eat affects our gut microbiota. Obviously, if you're going to eat rich fatty foods, it can impact digestion in your gut. It's harder to digest and break down. The things that help build that good bacteria are things like fiber foods, eating fruits and vegetables, eating a healthy diet. Also helps your mental health as well. Manage your stress better when you're eating more healthy and balanced. So proper nutrition, because we want to look at also just our overall health habits too, right? Like getting how we deal with stress, how we being well hydrated, helping things move through the gut by getting enough water. There's all these things that we always look at with our health concept, right? Getting activity and having good community support. So keeping that in mind, having a balance in lifestyle, but also in your gut. They both kind of go together. Uh, and it's because you want your gut to be harmonious, if you will say, so that you don't have some of these irritations that happen, especially when you have a lot of inflammation. You start to get some flatulence, nausea sometimes, perhaps some stomach discomfort, things moving through too quickly, which cause the more liquid stools. So when you have more of a harmony and the less dysbiosis, imbalance, where you're having more of your bad gut bacteria than good taking over, this can cause certain issues with your gut health. So we definitely want to do those things we're talking about with diet, lifestyle, and of course probiotics will help us build a stronger system in our gut, and because that's a good bacteria and we want them to be able to populate in our gut, what we call it colonize, if you will. It has to survive the stomach, the acid in the gut, and it has to survive bile acid and all these things to get to that part of the intestine to help with the good bacteria and good gut health. So according to some global statistics, 1 in every 10 people regularly experience some type of digestive issue, if you will. And even the American American Gastroenterological Association, AGA, did a survey and found that up to 40% of Americans stop doing routine activities due to uncomfortable bowel issues. So some of them, like up to 19%, quit exercising. Some didn't spend as much time with family and friends because of this disruption. So people were hesitant also to discuss this with their doctors sometimes, even though we have 60, 70 million Americans or so that are suffering or, have issues with their GI health. And sometimes they're afraid to mention to your physician, like 1 in 3 they found in this smaller survey. However, just do talk to your doctor if you're having issues. Do feel comfortable to bring that up and let them know that you want to also try probiotics. A lot of doctors are well versed and know that that's something that's very helpful, and they can help you with any other issues that you're having as well. So one of the things that we have that's innovation in gut microbiome care is Quattrobiotic formula, which we introduced at the beginning of the video. But the Quattrobiotic formula means it has 4 levels of coating. We also have 4 strains, 3 that are a patented formula that we have some clinical studies with you. But we're very excited to bring this to you. And the Bifidobacterium lactis strain that we have in here has actually been up for Nutrigreenie Award before. So that means that they've had studies done and have shown effect, and it's been shared with the scientific community and also even industry community in the nutriingredients sector. So when you have both a prebiotic and a probiotic together, it's called a symbiotic. And symbiotic just means, they both work well in synergy together, right? The prebiotic, think of it as pre. You have pre, pro, and post when you talk about biotics, right? We have what comes before. Then the probiotic is a live active bacteria that has an effect on the host, on you, that has a healthy effect. And then after. But in this product, we have the pre and the probiotic, and the prebiotic is the inulin, right? Prebiotics are food for the good gut bacteria. And the bacteria, of course, that we have in here, we have 4 strains. We have 12 billion CFUs, colony-forming units, and that's viable, the bacteria that makes it through the acid in the gut and the bile and the things that it has to do to survive to get down to your intestine area where it can do the most help, where it can colonize and grow and help your good gut health. So we want to have that microbiome balance. So we picked 4 strains that are very good for gut health, but also because gut health helps your immune health. It's good for both areas. So we're going to explain too about that 4-layer technology and how it ensures delivery and protection of the microorganisms. So the 4 types of bacteria, the 3 patented ones, are Lactobacillus genosii, Lactobacillus plantarum, and my screen's cut off here. And we also have Lactobacillus rhamnosus as its separate strain, but on the 3 we have the genosii and the Bifidobacterium lactis and the Lactobacillus plantarum. It's a mouthful, but you can just read the label and see what the strains are that are here. They've all been well studied, but I'm going to show you a few that are on our patented blend. The 3 that are asterisked here, that's called JPL 934. So in this study, looking at this patent protected blend of the JPL 934, 3 of the strains in the product, there was 2 studies done, and what they found is that these strains are clinically proven to deliver digestive health benefits and comfort, meaning when you're looking at things like, do you have stomach pain or abdominal discomfort or bloating, they found a definite improvement in this after just 8 weeks in a double-blind placebo clinical study. And looking at this, what's important to know when you have a double-blind study is you have neither the participants nor the person giving the product out knows which one is a placebo and which one is the real product. So the results and the perceptions are usually very accurate of what the participants are thinking, and doing not only questionnaires, but also looking at some biomarkers and lab values and things like this in this study. And then you can look at animal studies too, as they did, looking at anti-inflammatory activity, looking at things like that. And so it was definitely shown effective, for example, in these studies. And then there are other studies you can look at with strains in general to see effects, because different strains have different effects. Lactobacillus rhamnosus has been well studied, especially certain versions of it, and Bifidobacterium animalis as well. These are tongue-twisting strains to pronounce, but both of these strains have been found to support respiratory health. In this study, they did a double-blind randomized study over a 12-week period and found that it helped respiratory tract infections by 33%, and even the severity of them. But again, this is one particular study on 2 strains in a 198 participants to show that effect. So generally you want to look at studies, and there are a large number of them out there, and the double-blind ones are definitely the ones that are the most proven type. So this one, 2 of the strains in our product, the Lactobacillus plantarum and Bifidobacterium lactis, we have these strains in our product. These are different strain numbers of the same type of strain. And in this study, they looked at potential of if it can help cholesterol levels, And what they did was they randomized these are two studies. One study had 51 participants and one had 49 participants. And they looked at if it helped the bad cholesterol. The low density lipoprotein is the cholesterol that can build up in your arteries, and things like a high fiber diet help that as well, and also exercise and other things to help your good HDL cholesterol. But looking at the effect of these strains in these studies, they found that there was an improvement. So these are something that you could look at, for example, for potentially supporting healthy blood cholesterol levels. And then they looked at a strain of Lactobacillus rhamnosus. This is a strain that we added to our triple blend that is patented. We added this strain additionally because there's a lot of great health benefits to include this one. But Lactobacillus rhamnosus, in this case, rhamnosus, helps promote intestinal health. It was found that it helps support the renewal of intestinal tissue and restore gut function, balancing inflammatory response, supporting the healthy inflammatory response and immune function, helping the body's natural defenses, and protecting the gut. We talked about that mucosal layer, how that's important, that that's not too thin, that it, whenever it's built up or there's a shield there, it helps protect against the harmful microbes. So this is definitely a good one to include because we don't want that dysbiosis, that imbalance of gut bacteria. Okay, and this is very exciting here because we get to the technology part, the advanced four-layer probiotic delivery technology. We try to break it down to simple steps here for you, but basically it protects against air exposure. Think about air exposure can negatively impact things. Protects against moisture, survives in the stomach against the stomach acid, and protects against bile acids. And when we look at this technology, the first one, we have a water-soluble polymer. It seals the bacteria from external air, and that's why it has that protection against air exposure. The second coating, it's a moisture absorbing compound. It helps adhesive properties. And then 3 is more of a porous material. As a porous, it provides protection against ambient moisture. So you have that moisture protection. And also that will help support survival of stomach acid. And then the pea protein isolate fills the pores of the 3 layers of the 3, and it provides protection against bile salts and gastric acids. So this technology just works for both protect against, air exposure, moisture, but also survival of stomach acid and protect against the bile acids because those things break down the healthy probiotics or keep them from reaching the level of the intestine where we need them to travel through and go and in their active, healthy state, a functional state. So looking at the survival rate further, when you look at probiotics with the 4-level coating, they looked at like the L. rhamnosus strain and B. lactis, how much higher the survival rate was in the stomach, 2.5 times higher, or a little bit more. In the small intestine, the L. rhamnosus was higher, also 5 times as much. It's higher, and B. lactis too. You can abbreviate lactobacillus. You can say L. Bifidobacterium, you can say B. So you might commonly see these as written as L or B. In the large intestine, 10.97, almost 11 times higher survival. You want these bacteria to survive when they reach your gut, and they can have the healthy gut population of this bacteria, the probiotic. We already kind of talked about this. So again, the 4-layered coating about it protects from the external factors, the air and the moisture, and stability in the internal environment, right? Because it's protected against the bile acid and targeted delivery of active ingredients, right? Because you want it to get down to the area of the gut, to travel all the way through, and so they can populate with more healthy gut bacteria, so you don't have that imbalance. And then easy storage and portability, of course, because we want it to be easy to carry with you and be very portable and, of course, be protected against all the elements. We also have in the formula, we mentioned prebiotic and inulin. And inulin's a polysaccharide. It's like a type of carbohydrate found in nature in plants. So, and it's in things like Jerusalem artichoke and chicory. It's an energy reserve. It can be stored as energy reserve, and it's also food for the probiotics, right? We can't we don't have the enzymes to digest inulin, but it is that nutrition source for the gut microbiota. So it does help our good gut bacteria. It supports, it's been found in different studies to support healthy blood sugar levels, cholesterol, keep them in balance. As far as cravings for sweet and salty foods, you have a balanced diet, but also include inulin to help reduce those cravings. If you go long periods of time without eating, you're more likely to crave foods that are not healthy for you. Your first cravings tend to be sweets and things like that. So just keep the healthy habits in mind as well. And know that it does help increase the population of beneficial bacteria in the gut when you have inulin as well. So like including both probiotics and the inulin goes a long way toward your gut health and healthy gut microbiome. So Quattrobiotic formula, of course, we designed this to help aid digestion and nutrient absorption, support your balanced intestinal function, right? We want gut comfort and support a healthy immune response, because we talked about even things like serotonin and all these things to work properly. You have to have a healthy gut and more good gut bacteria so that it will help also maintain stable mood and all these other things. So it all plays a role together. So we talked about, again, colony forming units. That's having how many healthy units of healthy bacteria there are. So we have 12 billion colony forming units per capsule. And that's because we have to have so many colonies in each strain, right? Each strain makes up the product. We have 4 strains and 3 that are part of a patented JPL blend, right? So this is giving us a good amount to make sure we have viable bacteria that stay in the gut, that make it through the acid and the bile environment because of the coating. So it has all that going for it. It has that 4 coating technology. And so it's a new level of gut microbiome care. That's why we say that it's a new level there. And main thing is Quattro, the 4 levels of intestinal protection. But you can also remember there's 4 strains. So you can look at it from both angles. The Quattrobiotic formula, it's 11 bonus points. It's a club price of $22. It retails for $25. Product code 2321. So to get started, you have 30 vegetable capsules in a bottle to get started, to start you off. And of course, we use studies to support our information, including links to the references to these slides that we're talking about studies today. Those references are also here. They're all numbered with footnotes, so you can find them easily. So Quattrobiotic is definitely a product that we really think you should add to your, of course, to all your products to help your immune health and your gut health. Especially our gut health is so important to our immune system, with 70% of it being in the gut, and it affects our focus, our thinking, even our quality of life, when we're having gut issues and things like this. So we look forward to your trying it out. And we've been talking today about Quattrobiotic formula. Thank you so much for joining us. And my name is Dr. Cheryl Reifer. I'm the Director of Scientific Affairs at Coral Club. Have a great day.